Welcome to Wellness Wonderland, your holistic wellness hub. Join us as we dive into the realms of alternative medicine, mindfulness, spirituality, and everything in between. I'm your host, Nicole Papageorge, and today we have Vanya Terry with us. Vanya is a certified hypnotherapist and coach with a spiritual gift of being highly intuitive, and she receives guidance for her clients during their sessions. The spiritual gift was further developed through her tough childhood as she experienced emotional and physical abuse. A near-death experience at age 11 made it clear that her purpose here is to help others. Vanya, I am so excited to have you on today. Thank you so much. How is your day going?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here, chat, and share.
Yes, well, I'm excited to dive into your story. We have not had a hypnotherapist on here before, and I don't have too much experience with that. So maybe can you break down exactly like what that is, what you do, and in case people just aren't sure what that is, like hypnotize, what does that mean?
Yes, so the goal of a hypnotherapy session is to connect you with your heart, with your subconscious mind, and that way, too, for you to be guided to the things that are stopping you from being what you want to be or doing what you're trying to do. It's very transformative work, and I'm so grateful to be able to do that for my clients.
It's beautiful. So essentially, you're kind of helping to remove those roadblocks on a subconscious level, right? Like things that people may not even be aware of. You're able to kind of get more to the root of why things are showing up for them.
Yes, for sure. What happens is every unprocessed intense emotion that we experience, especially in our childhood or in younger adulthood,
Mhm.
if it's not processed, it gets stuck in the subconscious mind. And then when we are in the same situation, it will get triggered and come up with the same intensity as the very first time when we were in that situation. And that is when people don't understand why they are overreacting or why they're out of control, why they're angry. You know, a person who is 30 years old, why all of a sudden they're acting as if they're 80 years old and they're so hurt by something that it shouldn't be such a big deal.
Right.
And that is the blockages that we access together, realizing what is that stuck emotion, and then being able to relive or not relive, but release it in a way that's healthy. And once it's no longer in the subconscious mind, the person is no longer triggered. I give them space to process
Mm.
that feeling.
It's powerful. That's beautiful. And I'm sure, I mean, it resonates for me. There's definitely times where I may be triggered by something and I don't know why. And it's like we do a level of work, but sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? Like you can't access the subconscious consciously. So it's hard to move through things. So this is a beautiful modality and I love that you're here to talk about it because it's something new for me, but I understand it and I kind of want to like give it a try with you. So we'll talk separately after the call, but that's really cool.
Absolutely.
So what got you on this pathway? Like what was it that was like, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I'm here to do. Like how did that look for you, the journey to becoming this?
Yeah, so my journey started a long time ago. I'm 40 years old, and when I was 11, I had a near-death experience. At the time, I lived in Bulgaria,
Mm.
and when I experienced it, I was so young, I couldn't really understand the guidance from the near-death experience and how I was protected through it and all the gifts and all the support. After the near-death experience, I had to be in the hospital for 3 months and recover. I had a lot of broken bones, collapsed lung, and a couple broken ribs. Also, I was told that my left ankle needed to be amputated. which didn't happen. It's amazing. All the things that my doctors told me as initial diagnosis, it just miraculously, they did not happen. Through my recovery, I was able to recover, completely and have a normal life. And yes, I do have some issues with my ankle, which they're never going to go away, but just so grateful that I was supported in that way and helped to be able to be here today. And so after the near-death experience, I started to really get that intense knowing of what I'm supposed to do. It's very hard to explain it, but it is confidence and your intuition, and you 100% know this is the right path. And I also will get guidance for other people. And at that age, I brushed it off. I knew some things about my friends, what is good for them, what they're gonna do. And I'll think to myself, no, this is just a thought, nothing else to it. But then for my 14th birthday, my parents are like, okay, what do you want for your birthday? And the only thought that I had in my mind is like, I do not want to go to my brother's funeral. I don't, that was it. And again, it's a thought that, how do you process this? How do you believe that this is real? And sure enough, he did pass away a few years ago. So I was at his funeral. So things like this, I started to really realize that I have a gift and I'm meant to use it and help others and guide them.
Wow.
Now, the hypnotherapy, the last thing that happened to me was my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and she went into hospice. When she did, I went back to Bulgaria as I was her only close family member. I just had to do everything. So taking care of her along with the hospice and just figuring out all the other details, that needed to be done.
Mhm.
And I was there when she passed. And that was the moment that I knew I need to do hypnotherapy. It's something in me clicked and I knew it. And here I am following the guidance.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey. First of all, I want to honor you because it sounds like you've been through it. Like we all have our own stories, but like yours, wow, girl, wow. And to be able to overcome that and at such a young age too. And I want to touch on two things. So one of them, it sounds like you have this like intuitive ability that you just know things. And I'm sure as a kid, like it's easy to brush off. And I can only go from my own experience. Like, I am still learning to trust my intuition because it's such a subtle whisper sometimes, or it comes as a thought, and you're like, am I just making that up? Like, that's not real. But it's, why are you making that up? Like, why would you be creating this in your brain if it wasn't like a whisper or something from a higher consciousness or your higher self or source? So to honor that gift alone, I know is super tough. It's for me at least. So I just want to honor you in that. And then second, I know cancer all too well, and I'm so sorry for your loss. It is so, unless you go through it and know someone personally, especially a parent, ooh, it is a pain that no one wants to even experience. My father is battling cancer right now. He's doing very well, but it has been a journey for the last 4 years. So I'm honoring you in that because it's not easy at all. So you're amazing for listening to your intuition and for honing in on those gifts and to be able to provide a space now for other people. It's beautiful. It really is.
Thank you. And I'm sorry to hear about your dad. I hope he will continue to do well. Um, and yes, that is actually the other reason why hypnotherapy. Because what I do, I help people to connect with their intuition. And that is so important because Every single person has all the answers in them. And
Mm.
that's what I want to tell. And I tell my clients and the listeners, that they can connect and find the guidance and overcome whatever they're going through. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. You can turn that into a blessing for yourself. You can learn what are the things that are for you that are going to be the gifts that you get to then put to work for yourself and for everybody else around you.
Wow, it's beautiful. Would you have, I don't want to put you on the spot, but would you have any like mini like tips or tricks if someone is like, man, I definitely know what you're talking about. I've heard that little whisper in my head, but it's not strong enough. I'm just brushing it off. What can we do in those moments to maybe hone in on that skill just a little bit more than we're doing right now?
There's a couple of things that you can do. The first thing is to just sit down or lay down where you're relaxed, when your environment is quiet, and close your eyes and take a deep breath in and out and think to yourself, I'm going to drop into my heart. I'm going into my heart because our head and our thinking mind is where all the fears, all those thoughts of doubts and everything like this lives,
Mm.
which is preventing people from hearing the intuition in their heart. In the heart is where the true connection to the soul and the purpose and the guidance is, and we all can connect to it. So thinking to yourself, I'm dropping into my heart, and then ask your question. And the first thing that shows up, this is the right thing.
Mm.
And you need to catch it before your brain process it and start to question it. But how? How is this gonna be, right? I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this. How is this? That is when we all get the answer, from your heart. It's here, but then the mind is like, oh, what if I can't do this? What if this? What if I don't have enough money? What if people, don't accept me? What if this? What if that? And that is what's stopping us from following the guidance, or at least allowing it. And then write it down. Write down. It doesn't matter how you can feel like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous answer that I'm getting right now, right? Just write it down and let it sit there. And then every day ask for guidance. Set the intention, say to yourself, okay, universe or whatever higher power you believe in, set the intention, I want to get more clarity about this, or I want to be shown the steps that I need to take to resolve or to be where I want to be.
Mm.
As you do that, two things happen. Now, the first thing is that if you believe in the power of the universe, it will align you more, but also your brain will focus on what is the solution for you or the right answer. When that happens, you pull all your resources, and you could see it because our brain will scan all the things that are in our environment around us, but we only pay attention to the things we're focused on or the things we're used to.
Mhm.
And then once you set the intention, then you are setting a higher vibration, or not a higher vibration, but a different vibration. And the vibration is the vibration of the answer. So
Mm.
once you start to be on the level, to vibrate on the level of the answer, that's the only time when it's visible. Because if your answer is here and you're here, you can't see it. You
Right.
need to be at that level to realize it and to see it, and continuously just continue to ask and connect and do that, and just know that you're powerful. Every single one of us came with their path or the map to the right path for them, and they're the only ones that have carry the map within them, and they know it. No one else can tell you, "Oh, well, this is right for you," because that can be right for them, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's right for you. So that is why I'm very passionate about guiding my clients to connect to their own guidance. I don't want to say anything or project anything that's mine to anybody else because it would not be right. So
Mm.
empowering people to understand that they can do it
That's
is
beautiful.
very important. Yes.
Right. Like we have everything we need within inside of us. And I needed that practice in and of myself. I'm being totally honest with you. Cause like I said, like the journey of trusting myself and my own intuition, I feel like is one of my biggest life lessons. So I love that we're having this conversation and it's beautiful. So just to recap, like just sit with yourself, drop into your heart space, and whatever comes up first is likely the answer. And then witnessing your brain start to play with that and make you go crazy.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And then just
Yes.
doing that repetitively and writing things down. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll get hit with this download that just sounds so brilliant. And I'm like, ooh, like it's so good. I'm going to remember it, right? Like, I'm definitely going to remember that. And I don't write it down and it leaves just as quickly and it's gone.
Yes,
Always
exactly.
write things
That's
down.
it.
Yeah.
That is it. Absolutely.
Mm.
Another thing is that every child is very connected. Just to explain more on what you mentioned, that we have everything that we need within us.
Yeah.
In childhood, when a child is born, they're so connected to that because there's no programming, there's no fears, nothing. And many times, whatever the person is meant to do or will be successful in doing, they are doing it as when they're children and when they play.
Mm.
Before the programming of the environment, the parents say, well, oh, you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, or something else. And here's this child that has this gift of, I don't know, maybe they can play a piano or they want to be a musician, right? This is their gift. They're connected to what is meant to happen or what they are here to serve and give to people. They're connected to that as children. Um, and so for somebody who is looking to figure things out or find answers, it's very good to think about what they were doing as children. What was a very enjoyable activity that they would do and start to do it now. I got a bike and I'm riding my bike with my son who is 8, which is perfect age for him. But as I'm riding the bike, I connect to my inner child and the version of me that was 8. And when I was 8, I was so much open. I was joyful and all the things, and children don't know what's right for them.
Mm.
So doing the activities that you enjoyed as a child will also connect you to your truth, to your authentic self, and to those answers. So that's another good practice
That's
to do.
that's I resonate so hard with that. And I feel like I can't speak for everyone, but when you're a kid and you're like alive and sparked and passionate and just full of life, full throttle, right? Like we have all of that energy and the world is literally your oyster. And then over time, as life goes and parents may be guiding you to the best of their ability, maybe not intentionally derailing you, but I feel like the healing journey is a lot of repatterning, a lot of deconditioning what we once thought. Like it's taking off those masks, right? That we've put on over time. Someone told you to do this, someone told you not to do that. Like this was bad, X, Y, and Z. And then as an adult, you look around and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Or what do I need to be doing? What is my purpose? And it can be that simple, I think, if we can reconnect to our inner child and identify those things that literally aren't serving you, like the thing maybe your mom told you was a bad idea at the time. Like, imagine if she didn't tell you that, you could be this thriving thing. I don't know, whatever it was.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
get to choose, right? Like you get to be like, well, that thought's not serving me, or where did that thought even come from? And now you get to like shift focus and revive that inner child, revive that passion. And doing that as an adult, I think you're so much more grateful for that act because you're intentionally doing it now versus back then, that's just who you were. And it's still who you are. So that's powerful.
Yes, absolutely. This is exactly how it works.
Wow.
Yes. And just that connection will also connect you with your purpose. You know, we all want to feel loved. We all want to feel full inside, meaning, oh, I have a purpose. I feel good about where I am in my life, regardless of what has happened. And to me, really, the path to feeling that wholeness and happiness is actually connecting to that inner child and connecting to that purpose and gift in your childhood and just allowing it to guide you to what is right for you. That is so fulfilling and so amazing.
I love it. And permission to do that to anyone that's listening. Like I know in our societal worlds, it's hard to put yourself out there and it's hard to be vulnerable and it's hard to try new things because of fear of judgment, right? Like we live in the social media era where it's scary. And I saw this quote the other day. I'm probably going to butcher it, but when you get to a point where you just don't care what people think and like show up cringy online, try something new, like get messy with it, release that perfectionist tendency that I definitely have. So I'm sure a lot of people share in that. Like you don't want to be judged, but like who cares? At the end of the day, this is your life. This is your purpose, your passion. Do what makes you happy. And who cares what anyone thinks of you? So go out there, get messy, get cringy, and we're going to be celebrating you.
Absolutely. I love it.
I love it. Well, where can the listeners find you if this resonates with them? They want to work with you. How can they do that?
I have my website, which we're going to share the information about the website. I also have my Instagram at Vanya Terry, my TikTok. So there's many ways. I always offer a free consultation call. So I encourage people to reach out and we can have a conversation just like this and figure out what it is that you want to do and how I can help you and if I can help you.
Awesome. I love it. Well, I'll link your email or your website below in the description. So if anyone wants to click, it'll be there. And do you have any upcoming events or offerings or anything for the Charlotte community coming up?
Yes, I do. It's an event called Dream Journey. It is very similar to a group hypnotherapy session. There is a guided hypnotic meditation, breath work, and sound healing. And the purpose is to connect you with your inner self and with your intuition, figure out what you want to do and what are the things that you want to release. It is in South Charlotte in Valentine, July 21st at 5:30. And all the information is again on my website and the Instagram.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Is there any last tidbits of wisdom you'd like to share before we close out?
I am very grateful for being here. And I just want to say to the people listening that whatever they're going through, there's a purpose to it and they can overcome it.
So true. Turning pain into purpose, right? Well, thank you
Yes.
so much, Vanya, for being here. I really appreciate your wisdom. I've definitely learned a lot from you, and I'm excited to get to know you further. Big thanks for tuning into Wellness Wonderland. If any of this resonates, join the community by clicking that subscribe button and connect with us on social at Wellness Wonderland Collective for daily inspiration, insights, and tips and tricks on what's going on in the community. Until next time, stay curious, stay well, and lead with love in all you do.